Hey everyone. Okay, so this is another little video where I'm going to um talk about some of the topics that come up the most in my mentoring, and it seems that a lot of you wonder about the topic of working with agents. I think this is an important topic as an illustrator. So I'm going to talk about my experience, how it was for me, and then, yeah, just give a few pointers about the experience in general. So, um, working with an agent is a very important relationship, I think, as an illustrator. If you have an agent, then it's an important relationship that you need to put effort in, because it has an influence on, I think, your well-being and the quality of your work, and how your work evolves, and how clients might perceive you. And yeah, so it's very broad subject. And um I started to work with agents in 2018. No, sorry, 2015. Sorry, 2015. So that's 8 years ago. And I had at one point, and for a few years, I had actually four agents. I had illustration division in New York, which is still the case. I had Tiffen Illustration in Paris, which is still the case too. And then I had an agent in London and another one in Milan. And the reason was, I think, that when I started out, I had this idea that the more agents you have and the more visibility you have, the more potential clients you have, and the more, the more your work is out there. And it's probably true. But for me, it was quite hard to manage, because the more agents you have and the more communication you have to, the more emails you have to write, the more emails you have to answer, the more people you have to get to know, the more working, like different kind of working styles you need to adapt to and learn, because each agent works in a different way, in terms of personality, communication, invoicing. Each agency has their own style, and you have your own style. So it's about it's about if it's about being a good match. Actually, it's really like a boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. It's about, if you fit, if you are able to communicate in a way that is transparent, that feels good for both parties and all that. So with the time, with the years, I reduced it to just two. And I think this is the magic number for me. I like that because I can get to um, deepen both relationships. And this is something that fits my personality, because I tend to, like, I'm quite introverted, and I don't necessarily have a lot of energy on, like, day to day. I need to recharge a lot, when I socialize and interact with people, interact with clients, interact with mentees, interact with my agents, interact with friends, family. So for me, it's better to have a reduced number of good relationships with my agents, and it's the same with my clients, and it's the same basically in every aspect of my life, also with my friends. And so yeah, so this is how it was for me. And I started to work with agents about 5 years after I um, kind of had a career switch from graphic design to illustration. And at first, it was because this was the moment where I felt that I was ready. Before, I didn't feel that I was ready. And also because 5 years in, I started to do a lot more like publishing and commercial illustration, and on top of the editorial work that I was already doing for a few years. And you start to be quite busy and to um, lack time. I didn't have a lot of time left to do like the everything that is not drawing and everything that is not the creative part, which is a lot. The invoicing, um writing contracts, the whole communication aspect with the client, um the whole financial part, the negotiations and all that. It's a very particular set of skills that um, that I did not have as an illustrator. I just knew sort of how to do it, and I did it, and I still do it, of course. But um, at a certain point, I felt like I needed some professional support. And so this is when an agent comes in. It's they are like, they are really masters in you know understanding very quickly what kind of client that is, what kind of project that is, what's needed, how much to quote, how much it's gonna take, how much time. um they handle all that. They handle all that part. And so when I get into the picture, everything has already been signed off. Of course, they keep me in the loop, and they, like, we talk about, how much and how long and all that, and da da da. But I don't do this part actively. I'm just like um I'm just on the side, and I just get the info, but I don't interact with the client at this point. And when it's my turn to interact with the client, basically um I I can focus on the creative part. I haven't had money talks with them. I haven't had scheduled talks with them, this kind of thing. So my relationship to the client at this point, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with all these considerations. And I think it's nice because so the it keeps very good and strong boundaries They don't talk to me about money. I don't talk to them about money. We only talk about creative stuff. And this is really something that I really appreciate. And so yeah, this is how it works. And then I would say my experience in reaching out to agents. So before I started working with the agents that I worked with, I reached out to a few agencies. Illustration Division was like my dream agency, and I actually did not believe that I would get represented by them, but they were interested in my portfolio, and we met in person in New York, and it was a great meeting, and we decided to work together, and it's been really, really good. I've learned so much from them. It's just really incredible how much I've learned, really, like from their way of doing things, and just everything. It's a very I'm very grateful for this professional relationship, because I get to really to grow just by working with them and watching how they do things, how they communicate, how they, how they're just like, this is just like they really know how to do their job. This is something that I love watching, and I love that. It's very inspiring, and it's great to have this support, and they're always like interested in what I'm doing and the new work that I have. They are very, very supportive. This is really great. And so yeah, when I started to reach out to agents, so like 8 years ago, I was reaching out to agencies um that I was just like looking at their websites, and seeing if I liked their website, if I liked the other illustrators that they were representing, and if I felt like that my work would kind of like fit well with the rest of the illustrators, and if I was kind of like bringing something that wasn't there yet. This is really important. um like actually yeah, actually see if you fit to the collection of illustrators that is there in this agency. And um this is a good way to feel, if there is something that could match, because agents really, most of the time, they represent artists that they love, and also that fit to the kind of projects that they get to work on. They have clients, they have, those projects, and people approach them with requests, like, and they know what they need in terms of style and personality. And if you're a good match, then you will have a spot in their agency, and this is how it works. Also, when you start thinking about if you should work with an agent, it's you have to be at a point in your career where you've already established yourself, where you already have a strong portfolio that is cohesive, and that is, that is recognizable as your style. And probably a nice list of clients also helps, because it means that you are trustable and trustworthy and professional. And it also, so it's in a way, when you start thinking, should I get an agent or not, it's about you needing support. Getting an agent is not really a way to get more work, even if, of course, you get amazing clients and work because your agent has amazing contacts and, portfolio and everything. But this is not the reason why you get an agent. You get an agent because the because usually you get too much work. You have so much work that you can't do it by yourself anymore. Or you get work that is a little bit out of your scope, meaning that, for example, like when I got started to work with agents, I had to deal with contracts that I just simply did not know how to deal with in terms of usage, in terms of like, it was just like too big for me. I didn't know how to deal with it, and I had no idea about contracts and all that. And so I could deal with the creative part for sure, but the other part, it was just out of my scope. It wasn't like just like a series of like 6 illustrations for a magazine. It was packaging and books, and so the usage is completely different. There is also territory, like in which countries your illustrations are gonna be used, and how many times they're gonna get printed on how many thousands of cream, cosmetic packaging, or this kind of thing. And so when you start to get into these kind of projects, chances are that you don't really know how to deal with the financial and administrative part. And there is this aspect, and also there comes a point where you simply have too many commissions, like too much work, to be able to take care of everything by yourself, in a good, professional, efficient way. I think I would put it this way. And there comes an agent. This is when you need one, because you if you would do it alone, you would just not do a good job, basically. I don't know if I'm being clear. Yeah. And yeah, so a lot of my mentees have told me that they were just, a lot of you and a lot of them, so I guess a lot of you too, wonder about this, what it's like to work with an agent, when is the right time to reach out to an agent, all these kinds of questions. So I think I answered most of them. I think, yeah, so maybe the last part would be about the how does it work financially. So usually most of the time your agent takes a percentage on what you earn, and they take care of everything. They invoice, they get paid, and then they pay you. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to chase invoices. You don't have to talk to your client about money. You never have to have these conversations. And for me, it's a blessing, basically, because I hate talking about money. It's really not my forte, and I'm glad when I don't have to talk about money with a client, and I'm really happy when I only have to talk to them because of creative reasons. And this is what I love. And so to me, this is something that has really help me in my business. And it also, it's nice because as an illustrator you work alone, and it's nice to have this kind of like outside um, little structure and relationship with your agents. Like the communication with them, and the just like it's just like nice to feel like you're working with people. But when it comes to your creative, of course, like they never say anything, or I mean, the only thing they would say is that they love what you're doing, but of course they have no say in the creative part. And you are absolutely um as before, like without an agent, meaning like you create what you want to create. And it's the same. It's like when they talk about contract and money and whatever with the client, you don't talk. And when you talk about the creative and so on with the client, they don't talk. So it's like really like this kind of like relationship where each person does his job. And it's a very rewarding and respectful and very efficient relationship, in my opinion. So yeah, like I would say, I think this is all I have to say about the subject. If there's anything that I've missed, or if you want to know more about something, just let me know. Okay, thank you.